Tonight's order. First up this evening, we have approval of the agenda. Everybody hear me? If there are no needs for any amendments to the agenda, I'll seek a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? None opposed. Moving on now to our regular approval of the minutes. We have our regular minutes and our work session minutes from our December 6th meeting. If there are no needs for any amendments to those, I'll seek a motion for approval. And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to administrative reports. For the chairman report, I was able to go to the Glenville Fire Department's Christmas dinner. It was held at High Hampton. A lot of people were there. It was great to see everyone and their families just enjoying one another's company. Thankfully, no calls were anybody had to leave in an emergency, so that was a very rare event. Thanks to the Toxaway for covering so that all the firemen could attend, and they just were very helpful in making sure everybody was able to sit down and have a good meal. So that's all I have this evening. Does anyone else have a report to give?
I do. We were invited to eat with the Jackson County Grounds Crew for lunch the other day, and it was phenomenal. They really ought to open up a restaurant. And I teased them and told them that I was going to come back every day and eat lunch with them, and their eyes got about this big because they were like, "We don't cook like this every day," but it was very good, and those people need to be recognized not only for their cooking, but what the works that they do around our grounds, keeping it mowed and weed eated and everything looking nice. And also, the Jackson County Rescue Squad had their dinner and awards ceremony the other night, and they honored several of their volunteer members. So, a big shout out to all of them. And that's all I have.
Any other commissioners?
Yep, I'll just second that the chili and baked potatoes are really good at the grounds. And
That
Mr.
was good.
King joined us as well, and we had a good time.
It was good.
No one else has anything to report. I'll turn it over to Kevin King, our county manager, for his report.
First off, on the December 13th, there was National Wreaths Across America Day. It took place here locally and across the nation. Locally, we had about 40 volunteers. Along with them is a special speaker, Captain Army Reserve Nurse Kimberly Woodard, Diana Parker, and Andy Anderson of the Legion Cruise 104. And the prayer was provided by Navy veteran Stan Bynett. Uh, Jan Revis, and James Davis, Director of Jackson County Department of Aging, met the tractor trailer and offloaded the wreaths onto the Revis trailer. And Todd Dawson allowed overnight parking at the funeral home for that trailer. In addition, Mike and Norma Clayton also was involved in the volunteer effort. So just kind of a shout out to them on that special day, and good that many people turned out. The couple of just updates. One, we're going to have a meeting with the Jackson County Board of Education on January 22nd to talk about all of the different projects with Jackson County schools. And looking forward to that. We are in the process, and we have gotten some bid document back on one project, which is the track. We have not finalized the selection. We've been through the bid tally, but we are kind of confirming that is a good bid. But we should have that back at the next meeting, and then along with that, on Fairview Elementary, that'll be coming up later on in February. The we had talked last time, and y'all awarded the contract to Clark Leatherwood for the fairgrounds project. That is proceeding, so that should be mobilizing in January. So we'll get that going. Our crew is down there doing the bathrooms, and then we're also subcontracting out the plumbing, and then we're also working on the sprinkler system. So that'll be a secondary bid process. So.
Having that meeting on the 22nd, is it going to be here?
Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be at the Burrell Building up at Southwestern Community College. So the bid for the administration building, we have 2 bid dates. One, just in case we don't get 3 bidders on each for each qualification, but that will be starting January 2nd, and then I think the final one is the 14th. I believe so. It'll be mid January. So at the meeting in January, our hopes are to have complete bid tallies back for y'all to look, consider those bids at your next meeting in January, for the second meeting in January. Today and yesterday, we met with NCDOT about the 107 project, which that was bidded out and the bid was given to BSI. So that will be proceeding. They're kind of laying out all of the plans, all of the municipalities, and the county was there to just ask questions. They are looking at doing starting phase 1 closest to Silva and kind of working in that direction. So we'll have more as we get more detail. But
They'll probably just close down like one side of the road and work off of
Be-
2 lanes or something and then move over.
right, I think they're doing all one side first,
Mhm.
and then that'll be and most of the impact will be at nighttime. So they're going to do it at nighttime.
That's good.
So it'll just be one lane. But we'll have more information once we get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
But I did want to let you know that those conversations are starting, and that have been contacted by some utility contractors for the high school property. That one will be ongoing between now and June. So, and that's all I have. Any questions?
Move on to our informal comments by the public. First up this evening, we have Phil Ayers. Mr. Ayers.
Hey, my name is Phil Ayers, and I live in Sylva, North Carolina. I'm not nervous, but I am tired. It's my 31st year of teaching, and kids are wild right now, to be honest. I'm coming to you with a concern on Mactown Gap Road. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. It's the rock quarry. Mactown, Dillsboro Rafting, go past the rock quarry, then you bear off on Mactown Gap Road. And as soon as you get past Locust Field, it turns to gravel and road pond. And I guess you know that I live on the gravel road pond side of the road. When it tops at the summit or the ridge, it turns into a paved road and runs back down to 441. So I tried about 3 years ago, I guess. I talked with everyone, including the neighbors, DOT. I walked the road. I had the paperwork filled out. I actually walked the road with, I'm not going to mention his name, the assistant deputy, I believe, at the DOT. We walked it. The road had been staked to be paved. It's been on that myth list that's floated around to do this for I don't know how long. The same list was with the schools, with the fairgrounds and the parks, and I appreciate you guys marking off things on that list that's been floating around. So I handed out all of you one of these papers. The first one is just simply the Eagles Ridge development, and that's the development I live in. Eagles Ridge, and you can see all the tons of names. There's at least $6 million worth of homes, lands, and that's low ball. And on the other side of Mactown Gap, there's way less homes, way less homes. So I'm just saying, as a taxpayer, if there's any way we can get Mactown Gap paved, at least past Eagles Ridge, I'd deeply appreciate it. And on here, I've also listed the lady's name. Here's the caveat to the whole deal. There's one person that owns land that we actually need, and it's cliffside, to be honest. It's not much to it at all. So as I walk with the DOT, we have an embankment over here, and I'm thinking just take out a little embankment. But of course, DOT says we need the cliff. So anyway, the road's about 12 feet wide as it is. So I included in this paperwork that's the lady who owns some of the land, and she was willing to sell, and I'm not willing to buy for Jackson County. But anyway, then I also listed the specific name. It's the Deputy Division Engineer. And I also included an email correspondence with the lady who owns that property. So if you guys could help bridge the gap that I can't do on my own, I would appreciate it. But a lot of homes, a lot of taxpayers on this road, and it's been unpaved. I don't know for how long. But thank
We can do. Next this evening, we have Brad Reisinger. Reisinger.
And they've got a additional for y'all.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Brad Ricing here. I live in West District 3. It's time we recognize we are all on the same team here in Jackson County, and grievance not move this conversation forward, but evidence should. That evidence comes from Yancey County, which was repeatedly cited as a model for leaving the regional library system like Fontana. Nearly a year later, the Yancey model has proved highly unsuccessful, and Jackson County is now showing early stage parallels. The Yancey model promised continuity of library services, stable staffing and leadership, continued access for children, families, and the public, and local governments without loss of professional capacity. What matters now is not what the Yancey commissioners intended, but what actually happened. So Yancey's documented consequences of leaving the Amy Regional Library System so far. There's been a complete staff turnover, resulting in a loss of trusted relationships and institutional knowledge and training capacity. There's no functioning library board. Disruptions in the Cardinal system. Recently, there was a month-long outage. Elimination of key professional roles, including the children's librarian at a public library, digital services librarian, the cataloger, and the loss of grant writing and fundraising abilities. Community meeting spaces are unavailable outside of library hours. Elimination of the library's website and social media presence. Both have been replaced by a static county website, just a web page, single page. By June 2026, they anticipate further reduction in library hours and the loss of their bookmobile. The fiscal outcome is a reduced library budget with fewer services at a significantly greater burden on Yancey County taxpayers. These are the same early warning signs now appearing here in Jackson County. Community events are no longer being booked in library spaces. Staff turnover is increasing. Active pressure on the current library director, despite a record of success and professional recognition, as well as a newly posted director position at a significantly reduced and uncompetitive salary following the loss of the FRL stipend. On that handout, there's kind of a timeline. The Yancey model looks like this. There's a withdrawal from the regional system. There's leadership destabilization, staff turnover and loss of expertise, and a reduced access and services, and higher costs and fewer benefits. I've highlighted in yellow on there, but Yancey County is now in stages 4 and 5, and Jackson County is entering stages 2 and 3. My main question for this board is how can we learn from Yancey County now rather than repeating its mistakes? Thank you very much.
Next up this evening, we have German Vivas.
Good evening. My name is German Worm Vivas. I'm running for First District Board of Commissioners out of Qualla Community. My drive is to educate. I'm a former school teacher, certified in North Carolina, still certified but not active. There's a REIT, it's called REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. And this is going to be my motivation to educate voters because one of the concerns is rising taxes. And I've come to the realization that rising taxes, it's sort of like the nature of the beast. We got to pay for services. Folks have got to go ahead and contribute their fair share. It's just unavoidable. So for me, My idea is if you can't beat them, join them. RITs are financial instruments put out by the Internal Revenue Service. These are bona fide. There are many different countries, many different companies that put these out. And even uh, the county manager may even be investing money into RITs because that's part of what can happen. So for me, I'm excited about educating the voters, and I hope that perhaps the county manager can enlighten me what the county is doing as far as investments with that. And I know that the boundary, the eastern band of Cherokee Indians, they can expand. They can join these RITs, and they can go ahead and come into deeded land. So I'm just preparing the folks that you better sit down, you better round your wagons, circle your wagons. They're coming. Not only EBCI, but also private investors outside of the state. You see it, they're coming. Thank you.
Next this evening, we have Mike Jones. Mr. Jones?
Good evening. Mike Jones, Silver. Nice to see your smiling faces again this wonderful season. Ms. Hooper, the Silver Herald reported that you distributed a pamphlet entitled Jackson, Why Jackson County Must Exit the Fontana Regional Library. Jackson, a nice play on Brexit, but I'm afraid not very original. And the brochure states there are books on the shelves that attempt to sexualize our children, and 99% of the speeches at meetings, I guess meetings like this, are by leftists. How would you know? And the media are pushing leftist propaganda, and the agenda is to sexualize, confuse, and demoralize our children. Strong words. Do you stand by those words still? Do you?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, that's why I handed the brochure out.
Now, here's what I really want to get at. These words in the pamphlet. The Fontana Regional Library contains hundreds of books that are inappropriate for children and teens. Hundreds of books. Do you still stand by those words? Okay. Then will you make available a list of those books to me and to the public by title and author? When?
I can probably get it to you tomorrow.
Pardon me?
I can probably have them to you tomorrow.
And where will you make those public?
I can bring them to you.
Where?
Where will you be?
I can meet you anywhere.
Doesn't matter.
And you will make those hundreds of books available
Mhm.
by title and author.
Mhm.
Thank you. I will meet you here anywhere you say. Hundreds of books that are inappropriate.
There's 3 pages that I know of. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. Hundreds, you're saying. Okay, thank you.
I didn't say that. I did not write the brochure. But I did hand it out. And there's a lot of other people handing the brochure out. I'm a citizen.
And you
it's a
stand
free
by
country.
those words, there are hundreds of books. That's in the brochure that you handed out. You stand by those words.
Those were the 3 pages that we found in our system, that people found, that I will give you.
Ms. Hooper, you handed out a brochure that said there are hundreds of books on the Fontana Library shelves that are inappropriate for children and teens. You stand by those words. And you are going to provide me that list of hundreds of books. That's what you just told me.
I have a list.
Let's give Ms. Hooper your number, and y'all can have this conversation. That way.
Thank you. I'll give you my card after the meeting.
Mhm.
Now, there's one other thing.
That's all right. Just give me your number right now. What's your name?
Mike, I'll give you my card.
That's all right. What's your number?
828-226-0376.
And what's your name?
Michael Jones. One other thing, if I may bring it up. The brochure says,
I think your time's up.
I'm going to have another word if I may, sir.
Real quick.
The brochure calls people you disagree with leftists. Ma'am, I am not a leftist. Have we ever spoken? Have you ever spoken with me about anything that matters? How would you know if I'm a leftist? You don't know me. You don't know my politics. You don't know if I'm fish or fowl. And I don't really like it when somebody puts me in a box with a tag on it that says I'm a leftist. I think that is very demeaning and very derogatory.
Thank you, Mr.
And I
Jones.
just think you're better than that.
Next up this evening, we have Becky Abel. Miss Abel.
Good evening. In the spirit of Santa's visit coming up, I'm leaving you all a virtual lump of coal for your zealotry, your ignorance, your buttheadedness, and your passion to ram your agenda down the throats of the people you serve. And I'm here to express my continuing exasperation at your unwillingness to face the reality the majority of the people in Jackson County do not want to exit the FRL. In addition, Mr. Smith, you should not expound on things which you are embarrassingly uninformed. In case you never noticed, the Republicans have gerrymandered this state so extremely that despite people elected Democratic governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, the legislature has a majority in both houses and stripped those top three officials of much of their traditional responsibilities. They found the next highest office that contained a Republican, the auditor. He's now the one who oversees the elections, but also appoints the county board chairs for Board of Elections. So it was he who appointed Jackson's Republican chair, not the governor. So we have a Republican majority on the Board of Elections, contrary to what you said on your social media. Auditors are finance people, not tools of the right-wing media. You have chastised people on your social media who were correct about the facts that we have a Republican chair. And once again, it's clear you don't keep up. So that's all I really wanted to tell you guys tonight. I hope you enjoy your lump of coal.
Thank you, Ms. Abel. Next up this evening, we have Chris Hamlet. Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Hamlet from Jackson County. As you consider voting on the three proposed amendments to the FRL Regional Agreement tonight, I feel it is worth mentioning possible concerns. Regarding the First Amendment, whichever county commissioner serves on the FRL board would be signing up for a heavy time commitment beyond what is expected for other local boards commissions. As you're aware, the FRL board meets 6 times regularly a year, typically at 4 p.m., once at each library in the region, which would mean travel to other counties for 4 of those meetings. As a voting member, attendance would need to be consistent. And due to meeting only every 2 months, many detail-oriented or contentious topics are handled by subcommittees, each with one trustee for each county. Currently, there are 4 subcommittees, but there have been over 6 in the past. Subcommittees typically meet 2 times per 2-month period on average, so possibly as many 4 additional meetings in addition to the regular scheduled meeting in any given 2-month period. As an alternative, since the commissioners already select the 3 FRL trustees for Jackson County, why not simply require one of them to provide a formal report at the next county commissioner meeting following a FRL Board of Trustees meeting? Regarding the Second Amendment, I am sure our county librarian, Tracy Fitzmaurice, who is also the director would love it if she could focus all her time and energy on Jackson County alone. It is wonderful she has done such a superb job, earning the Distinguished Library Service Award from the North Carolina Library Association, which is given out every 2 years, while also working a nominally part-time as regional director, especially given that the director is required to attend any of the FRL trustees subcommittee meetings that I just mentioned. Changes to make the director a current part-time filled by one of the 3 county librarians was implemented several years ago as a cost-saving measure. The director is also required to have an MS-LIS, which is a Master of Science in Library and Information Sciences, by the state. Currently, the director position is paid out of the state funds along with other HQ positions. Change to this would both make finding someone with the necessary degree willing to work part-time very difficult. If passed, the FRL would likely have to make the director a full-time position again to find willing applicants. If unable to fund this change out of state funds, counties may be asked to chip in to cover the shortfall.
Thank you.
And if I may say one thing, last thing about the third amendment, given that the range of income sources includes both county, state, federal, grant, and particularly private donations from organizations and individuals, asking the money to be refunded should be reworded that it's only money that the county has contributed to the FRL budget, as it might not be, you would highly likely to be illegal to have money that was contributed from those other sources refunded, especially private donations, as the FRL is a 501c3 and the county is not.
Moving on now to our consent agenda. First, we have Ms. Fox with our finance report. We'll turn the floor over to her.
Good afternoon. Go over the highlights for the month of November. The general fund revenues collected to date is $47,225,542. That's 44.01% of the budget. The expenditures are $40,209,550. That's 39.41% of budget. At this point, the revenues are $7,015,992 more than the expenditures. Ad valorem taxes collected to date, $35,563,376 at 62.77% of budget. Motor vehicle taxes, $723,495, which is 33.72% of budget. The prior year taxes collected is $138,908. It's 27.78% of budget. We received the sales and use tax distribution in the amount of $2,159,848. That represents August sales. That amount is $156,607, or 7.82% more than we received in November of 2024. The Article 46 distribution was $242,661. And the average increase for this fiscal year is 8.10%. The landfill disposal fees collected, $1,787,946. It's 55.3% of budget. And the prior year disposal fees are $30,232. That's 40.31% of budget. Via Health's first quarter finance report for fiscal year 25-26 is attached to my report. The total revenues, $561,092,166, and expenditures, $553,870,545, with a net income less risk reserve $7,221,621. The current cash position is $294,499,432. The growth revenues, we're still seeing an increase in code enforcement, environmental health, and register of deeds over budget for this percent of the year. The general fund contingency amount is $1,136,723. I'd be glad to answer any questions on the report.
Questions from the board? Okay. Move on now to our budget ordinance amendments.
The first general fund amendment is an increase of $110,500.25. We received the North Carolina Department of Public Safety for the FEMA reimbursement. That amount was $918,680.36. The fire departments from that reimbursement will be paid $99,730.30, and we had one parks that was not covered in last fiscal year of $10,769.95, and the remainder of $808,180.13 will go back into fund balance. The next one is the Economic Development Fund. We received a Highlands Cashiers Health Foundation grant, $50,000, and it will go for the Cashiers Community Care Project for renovations.
Would that be for the emergency room care?
Yes,
up there?
that care center.
Urgent care, yeah.
Yes. Any questions on the amendments?
Questions from the board? If not, we'll move on to project ordinances, school projects.
Okay. I have one capital project ordinance. It is for the construction for Fairview Elementary School, $4,125,000, and the construction for Smoky Mountain High Track, $2,500,000, and that will be funded by loan proceeds, $6,625,000.
Questions from the board? Okay. Now to Ms. Henson and our tax collector and refund reports.
Good evening. So for the month of November, for the current taxes, we collected $11,621,061. The delinquent taxes collected were $29,934. The total collected for the month was $12,269,893.89. There were refunds of $5,932.10 and releases of $2,230.75. Any questions? Just want to say Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Ms. Henson. Wait a minute, yeah, I was gonna say, it's Brooks now. All right. Well, is there a motion to present the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to new business and our request for a public hearing for financing on January 6th. Ms. Fox.
I'd like to request a public hearing on January 6th at 6:25 for the financing for the administration building project, Fairview Elementary, Smoky Mountain High School track, in the amount of $27 million. The proposals are out and they'll be due in Friday, and we'll advertise it.
Is there a motion to approve that public hearing?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed.
Thank you.
Moving on now to our ARC grant application for infrastructure on expansion. And Ms. Henson and Ms. Henry.
Good afternoon, y'all. Hope y'all are doing good. We have been talking about this project for a while now, and we are at the point where we are getting ready to submit an application to the Appalachian Regional Commission, ARC, for the water line expansion that will service not only the Whittier Fairground property, but also that Whittier community at large. So we're doing this grant application in partnership with Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. They will be the ones that will supply the water. We are taking the lead on this grant application in partnership with them. So you can kind of see here, this is our letter to Department of Commerce for this expansion. We're asking for $700,000, and then we are splitting the match or the remaining balance with EBCI of $1,021,700. And so we are asking the board to allow County Manager Kevin King to sign the grant application documents. We're ready to go ahead and submit that, but we wanted to bring this before you.
Questions from the board? Motion to approve this ARC grant application.
Move.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Thank you, Ms. Denny. Moving on now to our amended Fontana Regional Library Agreement, and Mr. King.
So this is the entire agreement. The revisions were placed within it. And so y'all had taken this in consideration at your work session. So this is just the piece of the formalized vote. So do you have any questions? Can you hear me now? Sorry. Basically, the board has already taken this under consideration at their work session. So now this will just be the voting piece of this. So.
We are voting on the 3 amendments. Yeah.
The other counties have already voted, or?
Macon, I'm not sure. Swain is bringing this tonight, and then it'll go before the Fontana Regional Library Board for them to vote in January.
I think so. Yeah.
Any questions by the board? If not, I'll seek a motion.
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Moving on now to our rules and procedures, and Mr. King.
This was the other item that was on the original agenda the first of the month. Then we took it to the work session and had some clarification on several topics. But I think that this current version is kind of where we left it, which is pretty much the exact same version we have now. So if there's any other questions or any additions or deletions, that would be the time.
Any questions or additions or deletions from the board? If not, I'll seek a motion for approval of our rules and procedures policy.
Can we start these meetings with the pledge?
Yeah, that's what I would like.
That's an addition that.
Should it start with what?
With the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. Can you want to? So you want to amend it to put the Pledge of Allegiance in the? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, that just needs to be an addendum.
We can make that with just make the vote when you call for the motion to add the Pledge of Allegiance, and what piece it would just be under
regular meetings.
Yeah. Okay.
I would think.
We'll make it first on the agenda.
Worked. All right. So is there a motion to approve the rules and procedures with the addition of the Pledge of Allegiance?
Inserted above item 1.
Yeah, so moved.
Okay. And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now, we have a few appointments. The first up is on Council of Aging. I believe there's one person that has come to the end. And Mr. Davis has made a recommendation to reappoint Mr. McConnell to the Council on Aging. He is the chair. If there are no objections. Let's go ahead and make that motion.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None
Sorry.
opposed. Next up, we have the Dangerous Dog Board, Review Board. I do feel that we have 3 qualified applicants that are applying for this position. Sergeant Holland, Jane Finneran, Rebecca Stevens. If there are no objections, I'd like to see a motion. for
Move to
these.
approve all 3.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Next, we have the Fireman's Relief Fund Board of Trustees. We have a few reappointments. First up, we have from Balsam Willets Over Hill, Steve Carpenter. We have from Canada, Terry McCall. From Cassius Glenville, Randy Dillard. From Cullowhee, Leo Webb. From Qualla, John Thomason. And from Savannah, Chris Cave. If there are no objections, I'd like to make a motion for all of these.
So moved.
Okay. And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Finally, we have Tuckasegee Water and Sewer Authority. We have, let's see, Mr. Jones is not requesting to serve another term. Mr. Mao is not, I believe he is timed out. He's reached his term limits.
I'd like to nominate Bruce Allen, farmer.
Okay. So Bruce Farmer,
We've got 2 spots, 1 spot.
we have 2.
2 spots.
I want to nominate Jenny Lynn. If she'll do it. I don't know if she'll do it.
Yeah, I'd like to be on that board.
Super and Mr. Farmer. Is there a motion for both of those?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Okay. Any questions from the press this evening? If not, we do have a need to go into closed session for legal. And if there's no objection, I'll seek a motion for approval, or for, to go into closed session.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Coming out of closed session, there was no action taken. With no further business this evening, I wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and safe holiday season. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
And a second? Second. All in favor?
Merry Christmas, John.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all. Hope you have a good one.